Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is an historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed but by covenant, and we are called to love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all genders, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. As we gather, we acknowledge that Arlington Street Church occupies the ancestral homeland of the Massachusetts. By making this land acknowledgement, we recognize, honor, and affirm the sovereignty of all First Nations peoples. Dear ones, welcome, Zoomers, and welcome incarnate congregation on this beautiful summer day. And a very special welcome to our visitors from wherever you are. Many thanks to our volunteers here in the sanctuary, the tech team. Art Nava is on the Zoom deck, Rich Abreu is behind the camera, and Art Nava is on sound. And thank you to the Great Doors team ensuring that we can gather safely in person, for Barbara Ginhart as our lead greeter, and Jeff Hale, who is our lead usher, and Michael and Kevin too. Thank you to our musicians, Chen Chang on piano, and our section leader, Daniel Rosenzweig, and our worship coordinator, Lucy Humphrey. Daniel rapid tested this morning so he can sing unmasked. We've closed the first 4 pews up front to keep everyone safe. A reminder that those in the sanctuary should be physically distancing from those who are not in your family or your pod. And when your pew is full, please close your door so people who arrive after you know that it's full, even if you're the only one sitting there. Finally, for those who are new to Arlington Street, a very special welcome to you. Please go to ascboston.org and sign up for Snapshot, our electronic newsletter, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Whether you've been coming here for years or today is your first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning. If you haven't already downloaded today's order of service, it's available in the chat and on the homepage at ascboston.org. For our guests here in the sanctuary, there are printed copies at the Great Doors. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those here in the sanctuary with advice handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're coming in from today. And now, Rich is going to turn the camera on the incarnate congregation as we wave and smile at each other, as well as our friends in the Zoom room. And you all in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart. And now, let's rise in body and rise in spirit and join together in singing hymn number 1000, Morning Has Come, led by Daniel Rosenzweig.
Morning has come, arise and greet the day. Dance with joy and sing a song of gladness. The light of hope here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. A new day dawns, once more the gift is given. Wonder fills this moment shared together. The light of peace here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open our eyes to see that life abounds. Open hearts to welcome it among us. The light of love here shines upon each face. May it bring faith to guide our journey home. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow into the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of the Gleason pulpit. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A candle of sorrow from Bob Sessions. A candle of sorrow for the death of Lamont Dozier, part of Motown's legendary songwriting team of Holland, Dozier, and Holland. Many #1 hits for Diana Ross and the Supremes, the Four Tops, Marvin Gaye, and Martha Reeves, to name a few. Music that will live forever. And a candle of concern from Vicki Henry, for my cousin Julie, who is having a very slow recovery from knee surgery. Please keep her in her thoughts, and hopefully she will be up and dancing soon.
sanctuary for you.
Some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A candle of joy from Valentina Rosa. To my one true love, Katie, you came into my life 1 year ago this coming Tuesday and have changed me forever. I'm so totally in love with you, Mamacita Katie. And a final candle of joy from Joey Zoe. I would like to share a candle of joy in honor of my husband, without whom I would not have been able to weather the immense stress of these past few months. I am blessed to have found someone I feel I can endure any challenge with.
Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. Open my heart to be a sanctuary, all made holy, loved and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, for our country, and for the world. Amen.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat, and they begin with the word love. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación, y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que nos comprometemos, convivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor y ayudarnos los unos a los otros. And now let's join in singing It Only Takes a Moment by Jerry Herman from Hello Dolly.
It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held them for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only I've heard it said that love must grow, that to be sure you must be slow. I saw you smile, and now I know. I listened to just my heart. That smile made me trust my heart. For it only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held them for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long, and that is all that love's about, and we'll recall when time runs out that it only took a moment to be loved a whole life long.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm a little verklempt. It's late summer, so let's have some fun. Take your pulse. At the wrist, lightly press your index and middle fingers of one hand on the opposite wrist, just below the base of the thumb. When I say go, count the beats. Go. Stop. Multiply the beats by 4. That's your heart rate. What did you get? Call it out in the sanctuary or type it in the chat in the Zoom room. Do you know the slowest heart rate in a mammal? If you guessed blue whales, you're right. Their heart rate is an amazing 4 to 8 beats per minute. And, according to an article in New Scientist, when blue whales dive for food, they can reduce their heart rates to as low as 2 beats per minute. The finding is particularly extraordinary given that blue whales have an energetically demanding feeding schedule. All of these facts bring us to Martin Foucauld, a former French biathlete, 5-time Olympic champion, and 13-time World Cup champion. At the peak of his career, Martin Foucault's resting heart rate was 26 beats per minute. Yes, you heard me right, 26. How did he accomplish this mind-boggling feat? Before I answer this question, let me tell you a little bit about biathlon, a winter sport at which Monsieur Foucault excelled like no athlete before him or since. The word biathlon comes from 2 Greek words for 2 contests. It dates back to Norway in the 18th century that combines cross-country skiing and rifle shooting. Contestants ski through a cross-country trail of 20 kilometers, about 12.5 miles. At set intervals, competitors stop at firing ranges to shoot at 5 targets from both standing and prone, lying on the stomach, positions. The shooting rounds are not timed per se, but depending on the competition, missed shots result in extra distance or time being added to the contestant's total. Which brings us back to Monsieur Foucault. Imagine you are cross-country skiing in brutally cold winter weather, and your heart rate has accelerated to 220 beats per minute. Remember, from 26. How do you shoot targets located 50 meters away that are less than 5 inches while standing and 2 inches while prone? Martin Foucault answered this question with his trademark nonchalance. Most competitive biathletes shoot when they exhale, he remarked. I shoot between the heartbeats. Sounds simple, right? When pressed further about how he decelerated his heart rate to less than 40 beats per minute so he can start shooting the targets with 95% accuracy, Monsieur Foucault replied, I relax my mind until I am fully present. I focus on the moment and listen to my breath. Once my mind is settled, I contemplate the 4 divine abodes, recite one of their 4 meditations. Then I start to shoot. I'd never heard of the 4 divine abodes, but after he mentioned them, I did some research. What I found was fascinating, and I want to share what I learned with you today. The Buddha instructed his followers to cultivate 4 states of mind known as the Brahma Viharas. They are 4 prized emotions or mind states that give us a framework to cultivate positive behaviors and minimize harmful ones. Brahma is the word associated with divinity. A vihara in Pali, the language in which the oldest Buddhist scriptures are written, is a dwelling place. Classic Buddhist texts translate Brahma Viharas as 4 divine abodes. They are also called the 4 immeasurables, or 4 boundless qualities, because they represent love and goodwill toward all sentient beings without limit. These states are metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, mudita, altruistic joy, and upekkha, equanimity. In her article, Brahma Vihara, the 4 divine states or 4 immeasurables, Barbara O'Brien writes, it's important to understand that these mental states are not emotions, nor is it possible to simply make up your mind you are going to be loving, compassionate, empathetic, and balanced from now on. Truly dwelling in these 4 states requires changing how you experience and perceive yourself and others. Loosening the bonds of self-reference and ego is especially important. O'Brien suggests that we can bring one or more of the 4 Brahma Viharas to mind anytime during our day to renew our loving connection with others. We can cultivate these heart practices through calm, abiding meditation, mindfulness and concentration practices, as well as other focused daily activities, like making a cup of tea or washing the dishes. She encourages us to bring each immeasurable to mind, first toward ourselves and over time toward all sentient beings as limitless as space. Buddhist scholars have been writing about the divine abodes for millennia. While many commentators focus on loving kindness, compassion, and altruistic joy, Most see equanimity as the fundamental essence of the other three divine abodes. Sylvia Boorstein writes in Living in the Divine Abodes on the Lion's Roar website, "Equanimity, it seems to me, is the ground out of which the three other flavors of benevolent mind arise. Everything depends upon it. Equanimity is the capacity of the mind to hold a clear view of whatever is happening, both externally and internally, as well as the ability of the mind to accommodate passion without losing its balance. It's the mind that sees clearly, that meets experience with cordial intent, because it remains steady and thus unconfused. It is able to correctly assess the situations it meets." And Tara Brach offers an insightful podcast on the subject entitled Equanimity, the Gift of Non-Reactive Mindful Presence. She quotes St. Teresa of Avila near the end of her teaching. "There is a secret place, a radiant sanctuary. This magnificent refuge is inside of you. Enter, be bold, be humble. Put away the incense and forget the incantations they taught you. Ask no permission from the authorities. Slip away, close your eyes and follow your breath to the still place that leads to the invisible path that leads you home." I followed one such invisible path almost 10 years ago. On the night of September 6, 2012, my Irish grandmother, Catherine, a devout Catholic, had a dream. Nana lived in a skilled nursing home in Colchester, Connecticut. At the time, she was 103.7. Yes, I got my love of math from my Nana. When she woke up on September 7th, she asked to speak to the director of nursing. This is what she said to her. "Leslie, I love you, and I know you love me. I love everyone here, and I know they all love me. I had a dream last night that I died and went to heaven. I love this place, but it's not heaven. Starting now, I'm not going to eat, drink, or take my meds. I'm tired of living. The Lord will take me when he's ready." When I arrived at the nursing home that same evening, I was introduced to Debbie, the hospice nurse who would be managing the end stages of Nana's life. She informed me that Nana was already not communicating verbally with anyone, though she could still feel sensitivity through touch, and hearing would be the last sense to go. Debbie was an incredible guide on the journey through the last 60 hours of Nana's life. Nana was the most important person in my life, and I did not want her to be alone under any circumstances. I refused to leave her side except for very occasional nature breaks. I spent most of the final hours with Nana in silence, holding her hands, stroking her face, holding her in my arms in a very, very narrow hospital bed. When I spoke to Nana, I did so very quietly with a soft, dulcet tone she used for her whole life, except when the Red Sox lost to the Yankees or she missed a spare while duckpin bowling. Though our time together was one of the most painful experiences of my life, I came to see it as the most intimate of gifts, to be with someone I love so dearly in the last hours of her life. On the night before she died, I heard a divine voice, the Bat Kol Leonard Cohen speaks about. and knew immediately what I had to do. Nana recited the rosary every day for decades, so I decided to recite the Hail Mary prayer and usher Nana into heaven. Though this was no longer my faith tradition, in my heart I knew this meditation would have deep significance to Nana, given her passionate religious convictions. I had one problem. I couldn't remember the words to the prayer. It was late at night, and I was not in the emotional place to start Googling. I took out my phone and called my son. Dan, I demanded, Google the Hail Mary prayer. Hey, Dad, what's up? He replied. Google the Hail Mary prayer, I insisted. I'm with Nana, and she's actively dying. I need the words now. Okay, he said. He gave me the words, and I wrote them down. Thanks, I love you, and hung up the phone. I returned to Nana. Her hands were very cold. I clasped them together and wrapped this rosary around them, her already stiffening fingers. I enveloped Nana's hands in my own, turned to the paper, and started reciting. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. I prayed like this with Nana for hours until we fell asleep. No one disturbed us. It would be my final gift to Nana. She died early the next morning at my side. My dearest spiritual companions, in her article, The Four Divine Abodes, Love, Compassion, Joy, and Equanimity, Kathy Keary writes, these sublime qualities of love provide the answer to all situations we may encounter in our lives. They are the great removers of tension, the great peacemakers in social conflict, and the great healers of wounds suffered in the struggle of existence. These noble qualities of love level social barriers, build harmonious communities, awaken the slumbering generosity within us, and revive the joy and hope long abandoned. So may it be.
Thank you, Valentina. Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It is up to us, and our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our spiritual community. I just finished up an internship in Washington, D.C., where I was working for Representative Auchincloss of the Massachusetts 4th District. I learned a lot about how our federal government works, but mostly what I learned is that communities and relationships are how we make change. That is why I am proud to be a member of Arlington Street Church, a place I've been my whole life that has had such a profound impact on me and all the people around this community, and I know we can continue to do so. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to our beloved spiritual community and filling our virtual collection plate. You can mail a check to the church or use the envelopes in the pews, which can be handed to me or to any of our ushers after the service. You can give online by scanning the QR code in the order of service or by going to ascboston.org. Or you can also text your gift to the church by sending a message with the word GIVE to 617-300-0509. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. This summer, as always, we're directing our gifts to the Emergency Response Fund. Over the years, we've used this money to support survivors of local emergencies and to help in rescue and rebuilding efforts following natural and unnatural disasters nationally and around the world. Greater Boston, as well as New Orleans, Houston, Puerto Rico, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Thailand, Haiti, the Philippines, Afghanistan, and the Ukraine. Thank you for your generosity. There are weekly gatherings in the Zoom room for loving kindness meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. Every Wednesday, including throughout the summer, Reverend Kim and Reverend Beth host a tea party with a conversation prompt. It's a lot of fun. Information and Zoom room links are at ascboston.org. You don't have to be a member, you don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free. All are always welcome. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, please answer yes to the breakout room invitation that will appear on your screen. Valentina Rosa and I will be out front. If you're here in person, please come say hello after virtual coffee hour. Thanks to all of you who joined in today's service and to all those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together. And now we're going to join in singing hymn number 1028, Fire of Commitment. Please rise in body and in spirit, and let's go.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in Namaste. I bow to the divine in every one of you. Our benediction is from Indian author Kalidasa's The Exhortation to the Dawn. Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the verities and realities of our existence. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow but a vision. Let us look well, therefore, to this day. Let's keep this faith and carry it on. The service begins when the service ends. So may it be.
Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. Where you go, I will go, beloved. Where you go, I will go. For your people are my people. Your people are mine. Your people are my people. Your divine, my divine.
Please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.